So right now we're trying to remove the two stickers that's in front of the display. There's two of them, one on the left side and one on the bottom right side. We're using a scalpel to gently pry it off, and it should come straight out. Just take your time and it there is off, revealing the screw underneath. So here I am using a 50mm screwdriver in order to remove the two screws on the front of the bezel, the bottom left and bottom right corner. It comes straight off. There's not a lot of force required. As you're removing these screws, remember that they're really tiny, so keep them in a box or some sort so you don't lose them afterwards. What I'm using right now is a regular guitar pick. This is the tricky part. So we're going to loosen the bezel, which is attached to the screen. Just gently slide it underneath the bezel all around the screen to loosen it. So I'm going on the top, bottom, side, left, the entire bezel. Just gently, you don't have to force it. You can use any other tool as flat as well, but I had a guitar pick, so it was very convenient. So here comes the tricky part. We're going to use a fingertip to pry it upward and towards you, and you're going to hear this loud click almost right there. And you're just going to slowly go around the entire screen, and you're going to see an opening. So you're going to keep doing that. So remember, pry it upwards and towards you, upward and towards you. You can take your time during this process. There's no rush. There you go. See, it just pops up. And you're going to go around the entire edge of the bezel, continuing over to the second side. It doesn't require that much force, but just enough. So upward and towards you. There you go. I'm going to keep going. Remember make sure that the corners are also loosened. And so that's what it looks like in the back. There are hinges on the side too, so that's where the clicking sound comes from. So you're going to go at the bottom as well too, towards you. You don't have to worry because there's no cable underneath the bezel. So just pry it open, use your fingertips. It may help to start on both sides towards the center if it's a little bit tough. And then there you go. Now the bezel is off. And the two corner you see there is where the hinges are on. And there you have it. So now that you have the bezel completely off, this is what the screen looks like underneath. There appears to be two right screws on the top right and two on the top left, but you only need to remove one of each. And you'll see one of it. So there's the two left right there and two right. Now on the bottom left there's one screw you need to remove, and on the bottom right there's one screw that you need to remove as well. So I'm going to remove this brand new matted display that came in to make sure that it fits before I place them on. The order link is on the bottom of this page so you can see it, where to order and what exactly I ordered. It came in a great condition. And so I'm just going to align it to make sure that the screws and the holes are aligned with one another. They also have two notches. So there's two. There's an orange one on the left side. It's kind of small, but that's actually sort of like a dimple in order to put the screen on. And the other one is for the screw itself. So make sure that they're exactly the same. Here I am removing the two top screws, one on the top left and one on the top right. Notice how I only remove only one, not both of the screw. Only remove the one that's holding the screen onto the laptop. That one, not that one. So I'm removing it, and I kind of messed up because the screw is no longer in my finger. So right here we're trying to remove the two bottom left and bottom right screw. Remember to remove the right one. unscrew it and it will come straight off. Don't lose the screw like I did earlier. Actually, I didn't lose it. I found it eventually. Now you're going to pull the screen down gently. Do not pull it up. And here's the reason why. As you're pulling down, I'm going to show you that beneath the screen on the bottom left side, there is a ribbon and a cable that's attached to it. Be very careful with that. Do not damage it. Where the cable is located, there is a sticker that we have to remove first. This is going to take a little bit of force to remove it, but just simply pull it back gently, slowly. This part, the most strenuous part of this whole repair process, removing this sticker. Gently pull it up, evenly on both sides, don't rip it. Gently pulling it up. It's just a sticker, but with a high quality glue underneath it. And then just keep pulling it up, gently, with even force, and it should come off. And as you see underneath it, that is where the cable connector is located at. It's very fragile, so be careful. Here I am removing the ribbon cable from the display. All I have to do is pull it straight away from the screen display. Just leave it aside, and I'm going to remove the old damaged cracked display, setting it aside and putting on the new one. Exact same reverse procedure by attaching the ribbon cable to the new display. Make sure that it is exactly aligned before pushing it in the cable to the display. This is pretty easy, so you don't have to worry so much about it. Just make sure that it's securely attached. So now that the display and the cable ribbon is attached, I'm going to just put back the sticker. And then I'm going to power it on. Should make sure that it works first before installing everything else. I tend to like to put in just 2 screws, one on the top right and one on the bottom left corner. Use the orange dimple in order to hold it into place. And I'm just going to put in the screws again. Just screw it back on like normally. So that's one, and then the bottom left corner. There's the other one going on. So I hope this works, because if it doesn't, then I have to return the screen, or it's probably my fault during installation. But I'm going to put back the battery back on again, secure it, and then I'm just power it on, and it should work if I did everything correctly. Done. So now that it works, we're going to just place back the bezel and gently snap it back into place by going around the edges, and you're going to hear a little snapping sound. Make sure all the edges and corners and side are snapped into place before you finish everything. You may want to push it from the back to have a firmer hold, and it should snap all the way around. So here we're going to reinstall the 2 front screws in front of the bezel, putting it back on the bottom left and bottom right corner, and also the little sticky black cover to hide the screw from sight. Note that you should check the screen to ensure there's no dead, hot, or stuck pixel on your screen. I did a thorough check before I installed everything.